Hey all, today I'm going to be going over all of the new features that I've added into InfoLib in the past 3 or so months here. So let's get into it. Firstly, I've added these themes. You can change the color. You can change the color of the individual buckets here as well. So we'll be using the orange theme for today's video. Start with the market overview. We have this overview of all these different sectors. Looks like the market was very green today. And you can click into them. You can see the biggest gainers, biggest losers, largest volume, and then also this heat map and this allocation chart. And in this heat map, you can drill down. So you can see the stocks in the technology sector, and you can see the percentage of the ETF that stock makes up, as well as the percentage of that sector that the stock makes up. The Apple is the largest holding in SPY, at least from a technology sector point of view. I think it is the largest holding in SPY though. And then it also makes up 20.5% of the technology part of SPY. Go back, you can drill down here to the financial services sector or communication services, etc. That exists for all of these different items. And here you can look at it for telecommunications, for aerospace, and so on and so forth. Let's have a look now at the equity screener. In here you can see this is a screener. Right now it's set to the Russell 3000. You can also set it to all of the items that were available in that market overview. And we'll keep it at the Russell 3000 for now. We'll go ahead and sort it by daily change. So Quinn Street Inc., a communication services company, was up 38% today. Atlassian Corp. So these are all the largest movers in the Russell 3000. We'll go ahead and look in here. If you click here, it'll open the news tab for it. And you can see they beat earnings, so that's why they're up. Or for Atlassian, let's have a look. Right, so they upgraded their outlook, and looks like they're up. I guess they had earnings as well recently, and they beat. You can also open the trading view thing for this. So we'll have a look at this next for team. So you can see there's quite a large jump here, and if you scroll down, you can see all of the technicals. I calculated out for you, so all the different moving average values, the distance from the moving average values. Obviously it jumped a ton, so it's trading well above these moving averages. And you can see momentum, volatility, volume, all these technicals here, and then we compose a composite score out of them at the top, which for the stock says strong bullish, which of course is up an absolute ton today. So let's move on then to some of the options. Actually, we'll have a look at the money markets. So I've built all these money markets in here. You can see all of the different treasury bills. You can see Fed rates. You can see target rates, high and low. And if you click into these, you can see charts for them. This is the 3-month treasury yield chart, or the 20-year treasury yield chart. And you can also adjust the time frame up here. So right now it's just showing the last 3 months, but set it to 2 years. You can see 2 years of history for it. And then I've also added these curves in here. We have both the Svensson and the Nelson-Siegel curve. What these curves do is they basically help you immunize your portfolio against possible rate changes, especially if you have bonds in your portfolio. That is the primary use case. This is used by bond fund managers, fixed income fund managers everywhere, to basically kind of get an idea on where these rates can move to. So the 10-year might increase a little bit, the 20-year might decrease a little bit. These fit the curve pretty well right now. Sometimes they are a bit more off. But yeah, so that's the Svensson one. You can swap it to the Nelson-Siegel one and kind of see how that's charting there. So move on now to some of the option stuff. So returning is this options heat map here. This is quite a popular feature before. And we've built this options heat map to use our own options model. All of the options tool use our own stochastic volatility model, which calibrate and then calculate these different things out here. So this is a gamma exposure chart. You can scroll through to see the history of it. And it's finicky in this first little area here, just as it loads more stuff in. But we're back one snapshot here, so this is from 5 minutes ago. And you can go ahead and scroll back throughout the course of the day and see what the different gamma exposure levels were throughout the day, as well as the spot price, of course. Go ahead and click back to live. We have this for Jex, Dex, Vex, Vanna, Charm, and Theta. And you can also adjust the time frames. So if you just want to see today, set it to 0 DTE, like that. And this does help reduce noise if you have this on a screen here and then say other stuff over here. So we'll go ahead and swap this over to the options chain. I'm not going to go over all of the options features just for the sake of time, but I'll go over all the ones that I think are the most interesting. So we have our, I guess this is a 0 DT options chain for SPY. You can adjust this to increase the expiries and then kind of page through. Again, this uses our stochastic volatility model to calibrate. The base options chain you'll find on your broker uses the binomial model, which is less computationally expensive, which allows them to distribute tick data, but the stochastic volatility model is more accurate, especially for out-of-the-money options. So that's what we've gone ahead and coded in here. It has a 30-second refresh for SPY, SPX, and QQQ, and then for everything else, it's a 5-minute refresh. Go ahead and pop this onto the right here, and we'll open up our option selling here for SPY as well. We'll pop onto the left, and in here you can see this is for puts right now, but this is a delta, premium, and annual rate of return chart. So we'll swap this to calls. Right now it's displaying for, I guess, all these different dates here. So if we look over, this is 19. This is this one here. So we have our options chain set to. If you look here, you can see 0.37778 strike on the call. You can see the delta for it's 0.37. If you sell that option, you can expect an annual rate of return of 14.3% on your capital. And you can also adjust here, so return on collateral, premium, delta out of the money probability, and of course, theta yield per day. If you click in one of these, you can also see the break-even price and the distance from the current spot price as well. Let's move on to our options strategy lab. I've set it to 3 DTE, and the same for the options chain. What we're going to do in the options chain here, swap price is 770, so I'll go ahead and add a 775 call and a 780 call. And we'll just short the 775 call. So we should be positive theta. Yes, we are. I've gone ahead and set up a credit spread here for SPY for Monday. And then you can adjust this. You can see the payoff. It'll give you this nice chart here. Obviously for credit spread, that shifts extremely rapidly from max P&L to min P&L. Additionally, you can see the different scenarios in here. And it gives you all the different Greeks at the different values, so what your exposures are, your gamma exposure, your theta, etc., based on the spot price. So to start with the research tools, we'll start with the ticker performance comparison, which just loads up the comparison of whatever tickers you put in here. It defaults to Apple and Microsoft. You can remove these and add new ones. And it also defaults to a normalized price, which means that both start from 100 and then trend however they would have if the stock was worth 100. So Apple will be up $42, Microsoft will be down $3.2 from that value. And you can just kind of see how they performed over the past year. You can adjust this time frame, you can adjust the interval as well, and you can also make it show the raw price. We'll flip over to the company filings here. Load up Apple. Just got their last quarter. You can see the form here. And then what we've done is we pull out the financial tables from these quarters. So here we have the consolidated balance sheet. And if you just click previous filing, pull up the previous 10Q filing, and you can very quickly and easily compare the two tables to kind of see, what did they do in this quarter versus last quarter. Additionally, in here, you can add something like Microsoft, and you can add their last two 10Q filings here. And again, you can very quickly and easily compare how Microsoft reported versus how Apple reported for that. So if you're comparing between two companies, this is a really good tool to do so for that. Go ahead and open up the other financial tool that we have here, or financial, I guess, per company data tool that we have, which is this financial bucket. And in here you can see current quarter, prior year quarter, current year to date, and prior year to date. For Apple, again, looking at their last 10Q filing, which is from July. The period is for June, though. You can also flip between. So right now, I believe we're on the statements of operations. We can flip to their balance sheet here. Flip to the cash flow. equity, and then a comprehensive report. And you can also adjust the filings here. So in their 10K filing here, you can see how they reported over the last 3 years for their 10K filings, what you may expect come September when they submit their next 10K filing. If you're estimating, is there still value in this company, you're trying to estimate that they outperform on certain metrics in here. You can also flip between any of these tickers here. You can search for any ticker you want. I just added some quick ones that you may have interest in. So if you load up Amazon, again, you can see the same thing. This is for a 10Q filing. If you want to see their 10K filing, you can do that as well. So let's move on to our institutional holdings screener. In here, this is just the grouped holdings for the NPORT values. So Avgo is being added the most within NPORT funds. NPORT funds, I think, are most useful if you actually click in and have a look at the individual funds. So if you're building a dividend portfolio, you can search dividend here and you can see all of these different portfolios that these funds have built. Let's have a look at the BlackRock Global Dividend Portfolio. Actually, I know BlackRock has one that they submitted in June. So NPORT filings have a different submission period than 13F filings. They kind of just get new ones every month. So we'll look at their equity dividend fund. And in here, you can see the thing that they're adding the most of is FedEx. And the thing they're dropping the most of is, I've never heard of that company before, but that's what they're dropping the most of. And yeah, so if you're building a dividend portfolio, you can look in here, FDX, UD, pull up the dividend schedule for FDX, and you can see their projected dividend amounts, the ex-dividend dates for them, and eventually when the payment dates are announced, you'll see them here as well. Go ahead now and look at the rotation table. We'll select just July. And you can see for each sector, kind of where the funds are adding and where they're removing stuff. For NPORT, this isn't that interesting of a table because a lot of the funds tend to stick within the same general sphere of what they're investing in. But if you take a look at the 13F filings, this becomes a lot more interesting because the 13F filings, they rotate around a lot. They rebalance their portfolio. They invest in what's attractive and what isn't. So for technology, we have a weight of 32.7% for this quarter compared to it was 26% when these filings are submitted. Obviously for 13F filings, these are still coming in. They will be coming in for another week or so until this quarter is finally, the reporting period for this quarter is wrapped up. But you can see the thing that increased in value the most was Micron. If you scroll over, you can see the actual raw share counts. So it doesn't look like they added that many shares here. It's mainly just the stock appreciating. But yeah, you can click through here. If you want to see the largest change in shares, we can do that here, which is for KLA Corp. I've actually never heard of this company, but I guess this is what funds are rotating into the heaviest. Additionally, you can look at the managers for these funds. So for this quarter, I'm not sure if there's any that are that interesting, but if you go back a quarter, we can look at BlackRock. BlackRock hasn't submitted for this quarter yet, but it's coming soon. And you can see they invested pretty heavily in Wells Fargo last quarter, ExxonMobil, etc. You can look through all of their individual holdings here, how the values change quarter over quarter, how their share counts change quarter over quarter. Sometimes they have options in here as well. So you can see that there. And yeah. So I guess that wraps up our video on the new tools that we've added. One additional thing I just wanted to showcase really quickly here. So we've updated our alert system. So you can add news streams. You can also add economic event streams. You can add earnings reminders, etc. in here, which is pretty cool. So definitely check that out. You have to do it through Discord. It is a Discord bot that does it. And yeah, that's all I had. So I hope you enjoyed the new tools I've added to the website and that they're useful to you, and good luck with your trading.